Okay, at this point, hopefully you've tried several different ways of solving problems, or you've tried several problems and managed to solve them, and I'm going to try and give us a few more tips, because part of the thing is at this point we have more layers, but the strategy is going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to give you a question. Maybe you've seen a question like this, maybe you haven't, but what we're going to do is we're going to solve this question using exactly the same approach that we talked about last time. And that approach is to pay attention to the units, right? Units, units, units. That is super important. The other thing is pay attention to the question. When in doubt, answer the question. And that is going to, those two things are going to combine back and forth and work back and forth, but I'm going to constantly try and answer the question, also thinking about my units. So, starting with that question, I'm asked to find the mass. Full stop. I don't even care what the rest of the question says right now. The question is, what mass? How do I find mass? Well, I find the mass by taking the number of moles times the molar mass. I have a chemical formula, so I have the molar mass. Do I have the number of moles, though? No, I don't. Molar mass is just the numbers added up in the periodic table. That's too easy. Okay, so when I take the molar mass and I multiply it by the number of moles, I would get the mass. Don't have a number of moles. Okay, how do I find number of moles? That becomes the next job. So how do I find number of moles? A couple of ways, but the one that's going to be useful to me is by the concentration times the volume, because I'm working with the solution. So what do I have? What do I need? Well, I don't have concentration. I need that, and I don't have it from my question. I have volume. I've got 580 milliliters, which would mean 0.580 liters. All right, getting closer, but still not there. So I need to find the concentration. How do I find concentration? Well, I'm working with a solution that has a pH. So I also have to think about the fact that that solution is basic, because when I'm working with pHs, I have to remember that how I find the pH of an acid and how I find the pH of a base are similar, but they're not identical. So I need to look at this thing again, and I need to figure out where I'm starting from, which is pH, and where I'm trying to get to, which in this case, potassium hydroxide, is the concentration of hydroxide. So I need to go around the corner. That means I need to first find pOH before I can find concentration. So concentration then is the 10 to the exponent negative pOH, but I don't have pOH. I would need to find pOH first. So that is my starting point. Now I have everything I need to answer the first question. pOH is 14 minus pH. So 14 minus pH gives me a pOH of 1.8. Now I have pOH, I can find concentration. Put it in as a negative exponent on 10, I have my concentration. From there, I can find number of moles, because number of moles required a concentration to go with the volume that I already had. Okay, now I've got number of moles, I can go back and finally find my mass, because what did I need back then? I needed numbers of moles, which I did not have. First thing I did was find the molar mass, and now I get to use it. So at that point, I have solved the question, because I paid attention to the units. What units did I have? I didn't really have much of anything. I had milliliters and a pH. I did not have grams, so it took me a while to find them. So what units do you have? What units do you need? A couple things to keep in mind. Number one, I cannot substitute milliliters for grams. Doesn't work. Second thing is I cannot substitute moles where I require moles per liter, particularly in a pH formula where the pH formula is 10 to the, sorry, not 10 to the exponent, I'm thinking the other one, where the pH formula is negative log of concentration. That pH formula, or pOH formula for that matter, requires moles per liter, not moles. So depending on which direction I'm going on this thing, if I have moles, I cannot do pH yet because I need moles per liter. It's going to be super important, and I'm going to put those kinds of questions at you to see if you are paying attention to the units. What units do you have? what units do you need? And again, I know that the statement, when in doubt, answer the question, sounds obvious, but it gives you a plan. And if your first plan doesn't work, you need to rethink your plan, just like we did here. Anyway, hopefully that helped. We'll talk to you another time.